Chapter 8. Right when I answered the phone, I saw Mrs. Pellington and my entire class race down the hall to watch me. I felt so much pride-idity that they were running back to see me. They must not have wanted to miss a centimeter of my show. When they reached the window outside the DJ booth, Mrs. Pellington slapped her hands against the window too. She did it over and over like people stamp their feet at games when their team is winning. I felt so proud of myself. "Hello?" I said again. I turned to smile at my class just then. The first face I saw was Elliot's. He breathed on the glass window and with his finger wrote, "Wow." I was wowing everyone, even Elliot. And he is very hard to wow. Then Mrs. Pellington tried so hard to come into the studio to be part of the action, but she couldn't get the door open. She motioned to Millicent, who was reading. Millicent was going to get in big trouble now because she was reading and not paying attention. A woman's voice said, "Hi, is this the Sandy Sanders show?" "Yes," I answered proudly. "But you're not Mr. Sanders." "No, I am Mrs. Frankie B. Miller. I'm taking over for Mr. Sanders. Do you have a question?" Okay. "Well, Mrs. Miller, I do have a question, and I'm hoping you can help me with it." That was my chance to say the thing Mr. Sanders always said. I'll give it my best shot. I was really good at this. "My husband and I are having a little disagreement. He says the polls at Chester Elementary are open until 8 p.m. tonight, but I think they close at 5 p.m., like the post office. Who's right?" I could not believe my luck. Someone was asking me the most adult question I've ever been asked in my entire life. I wanted to memorize the feeling and tell it to my parents, and their parents, and their parents' parents, and everyone's parents. I looked over at Mrs. Pellington, whom I imagined was thinking how much I'd grown up since the Cambridge magazine visit. Mrs. Pellington was holding one hand to her chest and the other to her open mouth. It is a scientific fact that people do that when they are really happy that someone is saving the day. It was a good thing that I was also good at doing two things at once. I was very good at daydreaming and listening at the same time, which is how I remembered that Mrs. Pellington said that thing about how the elections wouldn't be at our school anymore. "Well, actually, you are both wrong," I said. I couldn't believe my own ears. I was telling one adult that she and another adult were wrong, and I wasn't even getting in trouble for it. "What do you mean?" the woman asked. "The election moved. It's not even at Chester Elementary School. It's somewhere else." "It's somewhere else? Well, where?" I squinched my brain to try and remember where Mrs. P said all the elections would be. And then I remembered. "The local theater," I said. "You mean the Morristown Playhouse?" "Yes, the Morristown Playhouse. That's the local theater." "But that's in Morristown." "Well, they don't have voting in schools anymore. It's a new rule. You can only vote in local theaters, so everyone has to go to the Morristown Playhouse if they want to vote." The strangest thing is that when I said these words, they didn't make a lot of sense, not even to my own 2 ears. But I was saying exactly the words Mrs. Pellington said, so they had to be true. Then an even stranger thing happened. I heard voices talking in my headphones, and they weren't my voices. "Bob, call Victoria. Get her down here, now," said one man's voice. Little girl, can you hear me? Get off the mic. "Get off the mic," said a woman's voice. A different man said, "Steve, Victoria doesn't have the master key. Get Sandy, he's got a copy, or get a janitor." I did not understand the code words of radio station people, but I would make sure to ask them what everything meant later. Now there were several people at the door trying to get it open. People were trying all different keys. That's how much they wanted to come and watch me. I looked over at Millicent with the biggest grin that my face ever invented. And that was the exact moment she reached the last page in her book and looked up. Mrs. P motioned for her to open the door. "It's locked," Millicent called, confused. When I looked over at the door, I saw the janitors searching their gigantic keychains for the right key. Even they wanted to personally congratulate me. And then Mr. Sanders came back. Sometimes after being upset with my parents, I come downstairs to let them know I'm feeling better. I guess that's what Mr. Sanders was doing now. I wondered if it was a good time to give him my resume. Just then, I looked down and not just one line was blinking red for me, but all the lines were blinking red for me. I felt more important than a doctor. As I went to answer another call, a high-pitched shriek came through the headphones. It was so loud that it hurt, and I had to throw the headphones off. When I put the headphones back on, there was no sound. I thought for at least 1 centimeter of a second that I was deaf. I tried talking into the microphone and was very relieved when I heard my own voice. What I did not hear, though, was my own voice in the headphones like I did before. The microphone didn't make my voice sound louder than it was. That's when I got a very bad feeling. I wished and hoped for one thing, and that was that I didn't break the radio station.